you're looking for work, I suggest you get in here pronto.
Well, since we're gonna be working together, I reckon it's time we start drinking together.
Woo-wee! Yeah!
Where's that Joe Buck?
Where's that Joe Buck?
Yeah, where's that Joe Buck? I'm Joe Buck from Texas.
Enrico Rizzo from the Bronx. His name is Joe Buck. He's a cowboy. He just came in from Texas.
Cowboy, huh? I ain't a for real cowboy, but I am one hell of a stud.
The cowboy is a classic American archetype. Featured in westerns, the cowboy is understood as the perfect example of heteromasculinity. The cowboy is always the good guy, but is always edgy. He's mysterious, tough, and misunderstood, but well-intended and always does the right thing in the end. He's also almost always white and always gets the girl.
Saludos, amigo. It's not smart to go wandering so far from home.
I reckon he picked the wrong trail.
Or he could have picked the wrong town. His big mistake, I think, was getting born.
You want any work? Looking like that? You could try being a scarecrow.
Oh, no, the crows are liable to scare him, maybe.
Get 3 coffins ready.
But what happens when the cowboy isn't straight? Enter the queer cowboy. Known from such films as Brokeback Mountain and Midnight Cowboy, the queer cowboy is the perfect character to subvert heteronormativity and heterosexism because he seems and acts perfectly straight outside of his love and sex life. The queer cowboy takes the most heterosexual archetype of a man and proves that that archetype is not always straight, thereby proving that heterosexism is not correct. If the most hetero-seeming character isn't always straight, then it's certainly possible and very likely that other people would not be straight as well. The queer cowboy is generally portrayed pretty similarly to the straight cowboy in that he's always mysterious and tough, but obviously differs in his sexuality, although there are a few different characters who have fulfilled this role. Let's start with Jack from Brokeback Mountain. Unlike Ines, the other queer cowboy in the film, Jack is able to embrace and accept his sexuality. Because he's able to do so, Jack seems a lot happier throughout the movie. He's still fairly serious, just like Ines, but his general demeanor is more positive than Ines' demeanor is. While it's certainly a big deal for Jack at the beginning of the movie, by about 3/4 of the way through the film, when Jack accepts that he isn't straight, he gets angry at Ines for not doing the same.
You are too much for me, ass. You son of a horse and a bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you.
In this way, Jack is particularly challenging to heterosexism because he is willing to do what he can to make his relationship with Ines work. Ines, on the other hand, is significantly more like the straight cowboy. He is very quiet and very reserved, and largely unwilling to open up about himself throughout the movie. He constantly reminds Jack and the audience that homosexuality is not accepted in the backwoods parts of Wyoming where he lives, and he will do whatever he can to hide his sexuality. In this way, Ines represents the detrimental effects of heterosexism and homophobia, and how they violently repress the queer cowboy, who is forced back into the closet in an attempt to fit in as a stereotypical heterosexual man so commonly understood in American culture. In contrast, Joe Buck from Midnight Cowboy is loud and confident in himself. Joe is not afraid to speak his mind, even though a lot of what he has to say is pretty unintelligent and fairly stupid.
Now look at this here, see?
There's an E in money. I mean, if that's your word.
M-O-N-Y. That's just exactly how you spell it up there in that big building up there.
The viewer is told very quickly that Joe Buck moves to New York to become a hustler and attract beautiful, older women, and he constantly reminds the viewer that he's straight, but when he gets to New York City, he learns that the cowboy hustler is more of a gay thing. When he's down and out of luck, he does some gay hustling for money. Joe Buck provides an image of a cowboy that's contrary to a general understanding about their quiet mysteriousness, but also provides an interesting take on a supposedly heterosexual cowboy through his queer acts. Thus, the queer cowboy is an interesting character in that it is fairly similar to the straight cowboy, so similar in fact that he is frequently exactly the same as the straight cowboy except for his sexuality. Thus, the queer cowboy in film is a powerful tool for challenging heterosexism and homophobia.